Greetings from Podcastville. It's Wednesday, the 6th of motherfucking November. The rent is long overdue. Anyway, the church is brought to you by Athletic Greens. You're like, Joey, what's Athletic Greens? It's an excellent, awesome supplement that gives you big dick swinging energy right there in the mornings. Listen, if you're not starting your day off with a blast of vitamins, you already lost the battle. Go back to bed, cocksucker. Listen, if you want to feel tip-top magoo, let Athletic Greens do the dirty work. They got you covered by 5 critical areas: health, energy, immunity, gut health, which is important, and hormonal support. Who else takes care of you like that? Nobody. That's why I'm telling you right now, do me a favor. Go right over to athleticgreens.com and take a look at what they have to offer. This website's tremendous. I mean, they might have something I'm not mentioning here. But what I can mention to you is this stuff is tremendous. I drink one of these in the morning, and I'm ready to strangle a motherfucker. You understand me? To get what I'm getting, you got to eat 2 dozen apples. Who's got time to eat 2 dozen apples? You'll be shitting blood for 2 weeks. You understand me? Listen, Athletic Greens, members, the church family, get a special offer. You get 20 free travel packs valued at $79 with your first purchase. All right, jump over to athleticgreens.com. and get your travel packs today. You're not going to be sorry. That's athleticgreens.com/church. Athletic Greens. Tremendous. Also, the holiday season's coming. That means a lot of sitting, a lot of fucking around and mingling, and you want to meet new people. Listen, I've introduced you to Manscaped, how to keep your nutsack trimmed and all that. But you can trim your nutsack and wash your dick all you want. If your asshole smells like fucking Saudi Arabia after the bombing, then Tushy is for you. You're like, Joey, what's Tushy? It's a portable bidet that you strap on yourself in 10 minutes, and that's it. Tushy sprays water straight directly into your ass and removes the old shit and sugar juice and whatever else you got sitting back there in that asshole. Bacteria that leads to nasty things like hemorrhoids, yeast infections, UTI, itchy assholes, and skid marks. Bidets are common in the rest of the world. Only here in America do we have to cut a tree to wipe your ass. No more. Go to HelloTushy.com right now and take a look at the selections and colors they got to match your toilet bowl. Let me tell you something. This is the way to go. Wet wipes are worse than toilet paper. Go back to using straws. Wet wipes and toilet paper are killing the fucking environment. They cause anal fissures, whatever the fuck that is. And you don't want no anal fissuring, do you? Nobody wants anal fissuring. Unless your name is Chad and you want to jump up and down on a Tuesday on Santa Monica Boulevard. But besides that, go to HelloTushy.com right now and press in code CHURCH and get 10% of your order. Let me tell you something. You're sitting there thinking, what am I going to get Grandpa and Grandma for Christmas? What am I going to get my parents for Christmas? Take a look at your mother's ass. Does it look like it needs some water in that motherfucker? Go to HelloTushy.com right now, press in CHURCH, and get 10% off your order. Do me a favor, Lee. Kick this motherfucking mule. What's happening, you bad motherfuckers? Uncle Joe here with my main number one fucking Cuban, the man of the hour, Rudy Sarzo.
¿Qué pasa, mi hermano? ¿Qué pasa?
We were talking about, let me tell you something. I met a guy the other day. He was Jewish. Nicest Jewish guy you could ever meet.
Nicer than Lee?
Nicer than Lee.
Oh, my goodness.
He's older. And the conversation was great until he said, I don't know if you know this, but my wife is African-American. And I'm like, you dirty Jew bastard. Yeah, I knew it. You love that dark meat, cocksucker, just not on Hanukkah. But it was funny how, some people like certain women, I love being Cuban. I love Cuban people. I'm very proud of my heritage. One thing I did not like since day one, you ready? Was those fucking Sweet 16s.
La quinceañera?
Yeah, I went to one.
Oh, yeah.
That was it.
Here? I mean, in Cuba? Or
no, I went to Union City. One.
Oof.
One. That tuxedo with the 18 guys in tuxedos and chicks in dresses.
Yeah.
And their grandmother's there, and you got to dance 6 inches apart. Listen, I'm going to touch some titties and grab some pussies. You understand me?
Yeah.
And grab some asses. I don't want. And then grandma's watching you with a microscope and fucking binoculars. I hated that shit. If I look back at my childhood, there's the pussy things I did. There's 2 things I did, the pussiest, that I can't even get mad at people for because I have to live with this. I went on 2 dates with a girl that I had to take a grandmother, a Cuban grandmother. And the grandmother sat in between us. Let me tell you something. Till this day, I remember that. And if I knew what I knew now, I would have got up and smacked the grandmother and told and pulled the granddaughter out of there like Narcos. Did you see Narcos? He used to kidnap the girlfriend, the Mexican one.
Yeah.
He used to, Rafa, he used to kidnap the girlfriend. That's what I would have done with her. I don't ever want to go on a date with a fucking chaperone. Like, it still irks me today. Like, she's on Facebook and I won't even be friends with her.
Yeah.
Just because she made her grandmother. And she didn't do it because she was all in too. She was crazy like me. The grandmother. In those days, you had to ask the mother.
Yeah.
Then the mother said, I don't have the time, but grandma go with you.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there like, your heart-on dies, your nutsack dies, your heart dies.
Chaperones were the reason why I was a virgin until I was 19 years old.
Oh, yeah, you couldn't get rid of them.
No, it's impossible. But what's ironic is now if you take a look at your old girlfriend, she's turned into her mom. So right now she looks exactly like a chaperone. The same girl that you dated, when she was 18 and you were 18, going to high school together, in Miami. Because I've been in elevators, and they don't know that I speak Spanish. They'll take a look at me, guy, hippie with long hair, and they start talking about me. They're going to say, mira ese, mira pelú. And then I get off the elevator and say, well, buenas noches, señoras,
And they fucking freeze. They freeze.
I have no idea,
Is that your favorite thing to do? If I knew another language, I would just go around trying to spy on people.
But I got a kick out of that, because to me, leaving Miami was my second exile. First I left Cuba, then I went to Miami, and that was, I got to get out of here. Because it
Is
was.
that how you felt in Miami?
Oh, I still do. I can only take Miami. I go there to see my mom like 3 or 4 days, and then I gotta get out.
What was your total
But I'm talking
living
about
time there?
we arrived in 61. We left in 63 to New Jersey, West New York. Your hood. Then we left in 66. We went back to Miami again, and I was there for like 10 more years until disco came in.
What didn't you like about it at that time?
What I didn't like about it, well, first of all, back in when I left in the 70s, was still that mentality that you're Cuban, you're not supposed to be doing certain things.
Right. I lived
culturally.
70s was tough. The early 70s to be a Cuban.
Yeah.
First generation.
First generation.
As they call them.
Yeah.
Was very tough. It was their rules were fucking.
They had rules.
They had rules.
Yes.
A lot of rules.
That's a big problem. Don't tell me about rules. I don't want to know about fucking rules.
I had those rules, and they were even harder on me till I went home in the 5th grade. When I got out of the Catholic school, my mom came around and she goes, I don't want to bang heads with you. I'm done. So we're gonna do it your way, and if it works, we'll do it your way. The minute it doesn't work, it goes back to my way. And that was communistic measures. That's communistic measures, for anybody who doesn't know. I mean, I tell stories that I got hit. Yeah, I got hit. But the number one punishment I was made to do was write lines. I will not call my mother a fuck. I'm not saying I ever did, but little things. I will not play ball in the house.
Yeah.
And I would have to sit there for hours, and the eyes had to be under the eyes perfectly. And the wills had to be perfectly.
Wow.
And I would sit there for 2-3 days. Like get home from school at 3, eat lunch, and go right to the notebook. And sit there till dinner, and after dinner for 2 hours. And then my mom would be waiting for an apology. And in my world, there was no fucking apology. I'd rather write these fucking lines than apologize. That's how I felt at that age. But then somebody would come over, and as Cubans call it, te tiran la toalla. Okay, that means they throw in the towel for you. So let's say I'm mad at Mercy, and Rudy comes over. I leave the room. Rudy sits with Mercy and says, hey, what's going on with you? Nothing. My dad. And you go, listen, I grew up with your dad. I know he is. Just tell him you're sorry. And you want to keep writing? And I go, no. And they go, okay, call your mother. Ma, come in here. And my mom would come in. And I'd have to look at her and say, I'm sorry for breaking the dolls. And she'd go, next time you do this, this is the penalty. You know, my daughter lost her jacket at school. I give my daughter $40 a month to do the podcast, $10 a week. I give her 40. I make her sign paperwork. I put it through the whole fucking deal. You know me. I give it to her in an envelope. I make it through the whole deal. Her mother bought her a school jacket. She wanted a hooded sweatshirt. She lost it at the school. The mother charged her $30 yesterday. She was crying for an hour. Took it out of her piggy bank. That's it. That's how I was raised. You know, you need to know the value of a dollar. So it was. I had rules growing up. You couldn't. And then, no, let me tell you where there was more rules. In North Bergen. There were unspoken rules. Couldn't get an earring. Couldn't get a tattoo. No long hair. It was very well known in North Bergen, like the basic rules of North Bergen. They were unwritten, but they were very basic. A kid died about 6 weeks ago from North Bergen. I'm friends with his wife today, and his wife came to my show on Rascals, and she goes, when I hugged her, I go, I'm sorry about whatever. And she goes, my husband always loved you. He said you were a real man because your sophomore year he broke up with a girl, and you went to him before you asked her out. And I did. My sophomore year, I went to this tough motherfucker, and I go, hey, you guys have been broken apart for a month. There's a word on the street that her and I could click. Are you okay with this? And I could see he turned pale. And he goes, I still love her. And I go, listen, you're apart for a month. And he goes, well, you do what you got to do. And I put my hand out. I go, I'm just here to tell you, I'm going to take her out that date. I don't want no problem. I put my hand out. That's what men did. That's how I was raised. Like, that was the code in that town. That town was very codish. You know, some kid hit me last night, you know. When we were kids, we were raised to do everything the best. Like, we went to Hashways. There was no fast food. You didn't eat at that place. Like, you didn't step foot in that place. You know, that's just the way it is. You lived off discipline, a certain discipline. And I carried that discipline out here. Like, I'm not a bagel head. You'll never hear me going to pizza. I don't care. I'm not here for the fucking pizza anyway. I'm here for a dream, or not here for a bagel. But when it comes to food, I'm very traditional, Cuban. You know, you got to have that shit somewhere. I don't want it. I'd rather not have second best. You know, it's like some guy said to me last night on Twitter, well, I want to take you to church Popeyes. I wouldn't walk into fucking Popeyes. I wouldn't walk in there. I made a mistake one time. I was sick for 4 fucking days. I'll never do it again. I go, I'm a Chick-fil-A guy. He goes, Chick-fil-A is a better sandwich, but don't you want to taste the Popeyes just to compare it? I go, why would I fuck with the best? It's the best. It's the best. I'm going to go to Popeyes. Last time I went to Popeyes, I took the skin off the chicken. I could see 4 toes. The breast was a guy's foot. You could see it. Didn't take a genius. I wish I was lying to you. It was like a fucking foot that they had cut at the ankle. Not at the ankle, at the insole. And they deep fried it. That's what it looked like. I never went back in there. Never again. And then my daughter went in there one day with my wife. I told my wife, can't bring her in here, G. Yeah, but it's good. You can't bring her in here. We don't eat that shit. We don't do that. We don't. Parlez-vous français.
When I was a kid in Cuba in the 50s, the fast food will come to you. We had guys with carts. And it would be like they either had a bell or they had their pregón, which is like their slogan. You know, they'll be singing manicero, you know, selling peanuts or whatever, you know. And the best Chick-fil-A type sandwiches, pan empanizado, bistec empanizado, or pollo empanizado, which is like breaded, right there, made fresh. And there's a little cart. This guy's pushing this cart along the street, you know. And he's got it like a grill, you know, like a hibachi grill.
Like the Mexicans now.
Yeah,
they do with the street tacos.
Yeah, that was our fast food.
Yeah, but they don't move to you.
No. These guys move around.
They walked around.
Yeah,
that's badass.
Yeah, and they're like yelling out, letting everybody in the neighborhood that he's coming.
Like ice cream man.
Yeah, and my mom had a basket with a rope, and she would put the money in there, put the basket down with a rope, and the guy would take the money and put the sandwich. And she will take the basket right up, and that was our, you know, that was our fast food, you know, and it was amazing, fresh, and it had soul because the guy would be singing along with it.
If I could have a basket hanging out of my window, I would never leave the house. I would never leave the house.
It was a balcony.
I don't care. I would never leave the house every day.
Yeah, they come to you. The ice cream guy, granizado, where you the shave eyes, with that jizz on it, and yeah, and they, all that peanuts, oysters, oyster cart, oysters already prepared with the sauce and everything, Ostione, yeah, oyster, yeah.
I don't like those fucking things.
Yeah.
What Cuban rules didn't you like that you felt?
Well, it wasn't as much as my family had rules. It was more, my mom had some guide, of course, guidance and things you can do, you cannot do. For example, she had the law that if my brother and I, we were fighting, over anything, stupid things that kids do, she would hit us with a belt, both. Not one, but whoever, if you were guilty, you're going to get hit. And if you were not guilty, you were going to get hit too. Yeah, everybody got hit. So that was like a main rule, in our house.
So you didn't tell anyone?
So we didn't fight over anything, And, but it was more cultural, social rules, that if you went out into the streets and you were facing Miami as a culture, an extension of Cuba, you were still had those rules that they were applied to you in Cuba, but in Miami, and they really did not apply anymore in Miami, but because it's part of the United States. So it was I found it very tough for some people to assimilate early on, first generation Cubans. My family, for example, they had like a cutoff point. If it was like across the street from Flagler, where they live, that was Coral Gables. They wouldn't go there because that's Coral Gables. They wanted to live in the northwest, Saue, and northwest. That was more like a Cuban territory. So they had that cutoff. That was the rule. Don't go to Coral Gables. You'll get lost. It's a lot of white people there. They'll know. They're not gonna help you get back home, basically.
My rules, I couldn't. The rules of the house were mira oye calla. I wasn't allowed to repeat what I heard in the house. But the three monkeys were everywhere. All right, when they cover their eyes, I couldn't do. And then when Juan came into the picture, he brought even more rules because he was the ultimate machismo Cuban man. The guy that, he wouldn't be in a room with a man that was gay. Mm-hmm. If he was in a room, a gay man walked in, he'd walk out.
Exactly, yeah.
Not allowed to drink in public. Can't let nobody drink in public. Mm-hmm. Very no flash. Mm-hmm. You have to confuse the people of who you are. Don't let them... he was always confusing people. Yeah. So he brought different rules into my life. We weren't allowed to talk on the phone about anything. Like, even if I knew something, I wasn't allowed to. I'll never forget them pulling up one day and me getting into a beef. I had to be maybe Mercy's age, 6, and getting into a beef outside, and the cop broke it up. And me talking to the cop, my mother coming up to me going, don't say 2 words to the motherfucker. You're not allowed to talk to cops. It was like there were so many fucking rules in my house growing up that it was confusing. And I kept to them. Like, I never repeated the life I was living inside my house. But one of the positive rules that my mother had was I was not allowed to speak Spanish outside the house. In the house, she wanted me to speak Spanish. I still remember us having that conversation that she didn't want to raise no fucking Ricky Ricardo with an accent. That your accent has to be American. You're an American. My rules, the plan for me was laid out. How these Arabs complain? I left because they wanted me to marry my cousin. Well, I had the same rules. I wasn't going to marry my cousin. They pretty much had a woman for me to marry. It was her goddaughter. Mm-hmm. That was the plan, that I married her goddaughter. So they always pushed us together when we were kids. But my mother's plan was high school, the service, el ejército, because she wanted to give back to the country. what the country had done for her. So she wanted me to do 4 years, then go to college, then go to law school. That was the plan. That's why when I got left back in the 7th grade, I'm like, her plan's not going to work out because I can't even make it out of the 7th grade. I'm so fucking stupid. So that was her plan. That was it. I knew in high school that I was going to go into the Army. Like, she was going to force me into the Army. Like, there was no way about it. That was her main goal. You're giving this country 4 fucking years for what they did for us. And even though she was a numbers and she on the bar and she was a drunk, those were her principles. So it's really weird, the rules I had growing up. I couldn't wear my hair a certain way. I couldn't part it. What side do Cubans part their hair on? A Cuban man has to, yes, on the left side. Yeah. If you part it on the right side, that means you're a fag. So every once in a while, I would experiment with my hair, and I'd fucking comb it to the right side, and I'd go to breakfast, and she'd go, "What are you, Rock Hudson?" And I go, "What are you talking about?" She'd go, "Put your hair on the other side before I smack you." Remember in the 70s, it was popular to wear a scarf with a little bow, and you tighten it. You remember?
I was always sweating in Miami.
Okay, so there was, in the 70s.
There. Yeah.
In the 70s, there was a style.
Yeah.
That you put a scarf around your neck.
Yeah.
And it was just a little circle.
Yeah.
And you took the circle and put the scarves in. It was like a hippie movement for a while. I'll never forget the first time I put one of those things on and went to the living room. She just looked up and she was like, "What are you, a fag?" Take that off right now. You're embarrassing me. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. Like it wasn't allowed. Like if you were laying on the floor, I was not allowed to cross my mother's body. So she's laying on the floor on her stomach watching TV. Cubans are not allowed to cross the body because that means they're in a cemetery.
Yeah.
You have to walk around them.
Yeah.
You couldn't say the word cancer in my house.
Yeah.
My mother would spit on herself.
Yeah.
So whenever somebody would say cancer, she'd go, and she'd spit on herself. And you're like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
You know, it was just so many basic little things. And I forget half of them. Yeah. Like, I forget 3/4 of them now. Yeah. But there were just so many fucking rules I had that were ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, I just like you, I love my parents and I'm grateful for them because everything that I am today is because of them, all the sacrifices and everything. But there was a lot of funny shit, going on. It's like when we first got to Miami in 61, my dad, first thing he got was a TV. With his first paycheck, he started on credit. Back in the day, old Cubans had credit, and credit cards and stuff. And we got a TV. And so on Sunday, whenever football came on television, and my mom's, we didn't have football in Cuba, American football, and she sees like these guys wearing like tights and they're close to each other, and one guy's got his hands underneath the other guy's leg to grab a ball, and she goes, no quiero que vea, I don't want you to watch this. This is wrong. So there was no football in my house. While I was living with
all those men with tight pants on, touching each other. Nah,
no,
we don't want that. I could just see it.
Yeah,
there was the machismo was so high, even with moms. Moms dreaded it because moms knew the torture that kids were going to get if they, Cuba in the 50s and 40s was very anti-gay. And when Fidel took over, it was even more anti-gay.
I think pretty much the whole world was pretty anti-gay back then,
For Cubans, I've read stories of, there was a time in Cuba where it was such a disgrace that the neighbors would talk the parents into taking the child shark fishing and throwing them off the boat. In the Celia Cruz story, they killed her brother or her nephew because he was gay.
Yeah.
It was a different time in Cuba to be gay. It wasn't like flamboyant. But Rock Hudson went down there every weekend and was gay in Cuba. And they accepted him. Marlon Brando, there's stories about Marlon Brando going down to Cuba and being gay, And I remember being a kid and hearing Cubans telling me about different personalities. And I go, how the fuck do you know about this? And they go, because when I was a kid, they would come to Cuba. And we were kids. We would follow them around. When Michael Jackson, remember when Michael Jackson put the kid outside the window and 10,000 people outside?
Yeah.
That's what would happen in Cuba when like a celebrity would go to a hotel.
Yeah.
the Nacional or something like that. People would get the word around town, who's ever in town, or whoever was big at that time, Sinatra. When Sinatra was at the Nacional or whatever, there were fucking 200 Cuban skinny chicks outside waiting to suck his dick.
Yeah.
He would pick them and choose them,
Yeah.
If you read the book of Ella Nocturne, it talks about him being in Cuba a lot. And his sexual fucking prowesses that he had down there. That motherfucker was going crazy.
Yeah. Recently, this man, Walter Mercado.
Yes, died.
Yeah, he passed away.
Yeah, 2 days ago.
Yeah, and he was like a big, huge presence in Miami in the '60s. I mean, you took a look at the guy, and we always make fun of him, because everything, his mannerism, the way he dressed,
Amor.
Yeah.
Más amor.
And it's obviously his sexual orientation was not in question, but when they announced, the local Los Angeles anchor person, was talking about his background and everything, announcing his passing, and then he mentioned that his lifestyle, his sexual preference was never mentioned, that he never came out. And I'm thinking, did he have to come out? No, of course he didn't have to come out. Look, it's obvious, and who cares, really? Another thing, going back to that, when I was a kid, I was into music, and you were a kid, and you were going like, wow, I tried the trumpet first, then I tried trombone, and I was just going down the instruments, until eventually I got a guitar. But in between that, I thought maybe piano, this sounds great. I can play rock and roll, and then I can play, some classical music, jazz is music, And my mom would say, oh no, the piano is not for man to play. Because she knew a lot of, gay piano players in Cuba. And she thought that the instrument was going to turn you gay if I played.
It's crazy.
Was it a Cuban culture thing, or was it a Catholic thing, or a mix, or like what do you think?
I think it was reference that she had, because one of my aunts was actually a casino lounge singer in Miami. I'm sorry, in Cuba, in Havana. All those all those hotels, they had casinos in Havana. That was the normal thing. So the guy that would accompany her was gay. And she had like 2 or 3 piano players that would accompany my aunt, and they're all gay. So my mom's reference at the time was like, well, all these guys that play piano, they're gay. So the instrument must turn you gay. Don't play piano.
It was, they had the list up the other night. They had a semi-list up of Cuban rules, and people were howling. Like, can't take a shower for an hour after you eat. Can't jump in the pool for an hour, and they would stick to the rule. And you're a kid in Miami at the hotel trembling. You're counting, can I go in now? No, an hour after you eat. Like, I take showers all the time now, right after I eat. The showers I take when I got a sandwich in my hand. And I still haven't fucking died.
My mom would not pick up the phone if it's raining in Miami, because there might be lightning. And even if you have a wireless, not a cell phone, but a wireless phone, cordless phone in your house, she will not pick it up, because she thinks that she's going to get electrocuted, hit by lightning, Rules. These are the rules. And I grew up with that. You cannot eat, you cannot go in the shower after you eat for so many hours, because you get un calambre, which is a cramp. You're going to get a cramp, and you're going to die.
In the shower?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or the pool.
Oh, yeah.
The pool, I had the pool one, but the shower one I never heard before.
They would torment you.
It's like, no matter how ridiculous something is, my mom will always say to me, she will say it, and then she'll go, es posible. It's possible.
I think the craziest Cuban thing I ever saw was I was living in Colorado, in Arvada, in 93. I had just moved back, and I reconnected with a friend of my family's. His name was Al Coelho. He could be dead now. He was a character. Like, he took me to see Kiss rehearse when I was like 5 in New York City, and I didn't even know it. When I see him, he'll always say, "You remember I took you to see Kiss? Tell your friends." I don't know if it was Kiss. I don't fucking know. you know. But kids were from Long Island. They would do little bars, and he took me to a rehearsal one day, and he had girlfriends and, you know, whatever. And then I lost contact with him, and I rekindled my contact with him. I met him selling cars. Somebody told me there's a Cuban guy from Jersey that sells cars at Douglas Toyota. So I went over to him, and they go, "What's your name?" He goes, "Al." And we started talking, like, "Oh my God, I grew up with you. You know, our parents knew each other." And he goes, "You know, stay with me." So I moved in with him when I came back from Jersey, and his aunt was coming, Mita and Mago. He had 2 aunts. And I'll never forget that. We picked the aunt up, and she took the metal tray and took a pig, cut him in half.
Oh, yeah.
Marinated the motherfucker.
Yeah.
Put like a saran wrap around him with duct tape, and put him on the plane, and put him on top of the plane like luggage, and the whole plane. She goes, "No, we're not paying an avión." And they're talking about the smell of garlic that everybody on the plane was going,
Mojo, yeah.
And they had a pig
Garlic sauce
on the plane that nobody knew about.
And she didn't say anything. She looked
nothing. It was before 9/11. This is 93. They walked in it like, you know how you take a soldier out of battle? Like she says they walked on the plane like that, and the stewardess is like, "Hi, what are you having?" They're like, "Luggage, we just can't hold it. We heavy." They had a pig, and they put the pig in. They took the pig out. We drove it from Denver Airport to Al Coelho's house, and they threw it in the oven. And it marinated for those 4 hours. They were like, "What are we going to do for those 4 hours? Let's marinate the pig. Let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone while we're flying." So they marinated the pig while they were fucking flying. That's how much respect they had for that little fucking pig.
That's beautiful. That
So
really is.
before the show, you were talking about something that made me laugh. I enjoyed it very much. I enjoyed it because it reminded me of what's going on right now. I really like Dolomite. It reminded me how much I loved Eddie Murphy. I've always loved Eddie Murphy, and I don't want to see him do stand-up. All you fucking idiots that keep pushing for Eddie Murphy to do stand-up, stop it. He hasn't gone on stage in 20 years. What do you think? It's going to take a year for him to tune up? It's going to take too long. He makes too much money making movies, and even if they give him $70 million, he does not want to go down to the Comedy Store and work out every day. And he's going to have to, and that's not going to happen. He's too old. He gets fucking... I've seen him at the store. When you see him at the store, you realize that this was a stepping stone for him. It was a stepping stone for him. This is all this was. For Netflix to give him $70 million to do a special, you'd have to be an idiot if you're not going to take it. But I know that Eddie, those 2 specials are brilliant. Raw and Delirious. What is he going to talk about now? What's he going to do? Go to the Comedy Store 4 nights a week for a year to get 60 minutes? Give me a fucking breather. But beside that little thing, the Dolomite, I thought was great. I thought it was great. And it's funny that you were talking about that when you started in North Miami, there was a house MC and he was a black guy. I think there's a black guy at every place I did comedy at that was a house MC.
Yeah.
That had a story.
Yeah.
Your guy said that Isaac Hayes ripped him off.
Jeb Stewart. Jeb Stewart was 1969. Everybody in the band was fresh out of high school. And we happened to be rehearsing at the guitar player's house. And the father, his dad walks in with the newspaper and the wanted ads page. And he says, "Hey, there's this club that's hiring a band. They're looking for a band." He just wanted us out of the house because up until the time we were only doing quinceañeras, which was a great breeding ground for rock bands or, little bands that became big, big musicians came out of those little bands. As a matter of fact, Will Lee.
The Miami Sound Machine.
Yeah, well, Miami Sound Machine, one of them. Will Lee from David Letterman Orchestra. He was a bass player in one of the bands in the circuit, the quinceañeras. Countless of great musicians came out of that. We had to play a lot of slow songs because that was the only chance that the kids could actually have body contact while the chaperones were actually keeping an eye on them, on the dance floor, So they had this method. Was when they're facing the chaperone, they hold tight, and then when they go sideways, they separate, that 6-inch rule
Right,
that they
the
have,
6-inch
right?
rule,
And
yeah.
then it was over like that. As they go around in circle, they separate, and then they come together again and start humping, and then they separate. And the more slow songs you played in your set, the more gigs you got. So those were the Miami quinceañera rules. But we went straight from playing that circuit into all of a sudden. I had never seen a naked woman before because all my girlfriends were Catholic and they had chaperones, their moms. All of a sudden, I'm playing in front of naked women. They're all naked. They're naked. It was topless and with the G string, so they might as well be naked. And we had this MC, Jeb Stewart. He looked like Jackie Wilson. Had the pompadour. With the hair greased back, matching Romeo shirt. Remember those shirts that had like the big collar and lace?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, polyester matching pants. Usually either orange or light blue, baby blue, with shoes that every night he would take paint and spray paint the shoes to match the color of his outfit. And he had like a big cardboard sign behind the drummer with like records, 45 spray painted in gold, and his name in sequins, glitter, Jeb Stewart, and then he has some slogan, like the King of Soul or whatever, and little musical notes and stuff like that. And we just play R&B all night long with this guy, and he must have been a great singer at one time, but I never got to hear that because he had a perpetual cold. It was always like this, raspy, right? So he would only hit one note, like, I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour, when he never would sing a melody. It was always like this raspy one note singing. And he had the dance moves in between, and he was smooth, man. Slick, smooth. He would introduce the girls. Because, he would introduce a girl and then she would dance right in front of us in our little stage. And then she would move on to a cubicle in this horseshoe-shaped bar with old men sitting around, and they had knockers. So instead of clapping, that's what you heard. 50 guys going like this, in between girls, instead of clapping, for the girls dancing. And then girls would move around. And by the end of the set, you have 8 girls dancing. And then that was over. And then 15 minutes later, you go back on and you do another show with the same thing, Yep, that was my first club gig.
When you were on the road with Whitesnake in 88, 87?
87 to 94, yeah.
Let's just say 88.
Yeah.
Were you ever on stage one night having a great night?
Yeah.
Everybody's doing great. And at one point, you thought to yourself, the reason this is happening is because what I did in that strip club 20
absolutely.
years ago.
Absolutely. I
Does
mean,
that ever dawn on you? That fucking destroys me when I think of the exact moment where I learned how to do that. I tell Lee it happens to me a lot now. When I'm on stage and I'm controlling the audience, I'm controlling them at this point. Yes, and it's been 28 years. But this just didn't happen. That control I learned at a certain bar in 1995. And while I'm on stage about to deliver the jokes and while I'm getting my breath back, while they're laughing and they're settling, that thought had just run through my mind that the reason I'm here right now is because of that bar in 1995. That night that the guy threw a steak at me or whatever. I'm just making up scenarios here. But it's so weird how now, 28 years later, there's nights I'm on stage having a good set, after 20 years of being in it, thinking back to the night where you had that breakthrough, that you did that step, that maybe you added that bass line, that, something. With me, it's always maybe I move a certain way or I do something. I did something in New Jersey that I hadn't done in 20 years, like not a bit, but a piece from a bit that I couldn't use the bit anymore because the bit is fucking old. I don't even think I remember it. But I used a piece from a bit. When I got off that night, I go, wow, I still remember doing that bit on an improv level one night, and then starting to use it, and then it was time to get rid of the bit, and I did, but that little piece of that bit still makes me laugh. And that had to be 96, 97, when I did that bit to kill time. Like somebody said, how much time you got? I'm like, 18, do 30. Okay, I'll tell a story. And I told that bit. Does that ever happen to you that you're on stage and you think back to a certain night?
Absolutely. That the Tomboy Club in North Miami was my first club gig. And I kept playing clubs all the way in Miami up until like I left in 75. And that was basically my cutoff point. So it was about 6-7 years, because by the time, I kept playing in clubs up in Chicago area, in the Midwest with another band. It wasn't until I got to LA and in 1978 I started playing with the Randy Rhoads version of Quiet Riot. That yes, we were playing clubs, but they were showcase clubs. You were expected to play original material. So to me, there was a big difference between being in a cover band, because that's not going to get you anywhere. I mean, if you really have aspirations of becoming a professional musician, as far as a career move, yes, you might be able to make some money and take care of some bills and things like that. But if you really want to, make a move, it's like in comedy or acting, you have to do certain things. Like playing at a comedy store, it's a showcase club. It's not just a comedy gig. You're there with the best of the best, and there's going to be agents, there's going to be producers, and the suits are going to be in the audience checking out what's new, who can I get, for my next special or my next movie or whatever, discovering talent. Well, there are certain clubs in Los Angeles that at the time, that was the purpose of playing there. There was the Starwood, that Quiet Riot, we were like a house band there with Randy. Then there is the Whiskey and the Roxy and the Troubadour. And for one time, for a certain period of time, there was Bill Gazzari's place. Van Halen was like the house band and stuff like that.
Where was that?
Gazzari's is where, what is it called now? It's called something else. It's like a disco. Now it was like
in Hollywood.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's west of the Rainbow.
Oh, so it's down towards that.
Yeah, it's the next club, the next street from the Rainbow Bar and Grill. It was all one strip.
Yeah, it's like a disco.
Yeah, playing. There was a club called Filthy McNasty's, which was a cover club. Now is the Viper Room.
Really?
Yeah.
So Viper Room used to be Filthy McNasty.
It's Filthy
What about
McNasty.
that place on Fairfax? There's a
place on Fairfax. Wait a minute.
Towards Wilshire.
Okay.
I went there a few times. Irish bar. They have like cover bands. I had a friend that was in a heavy duty band at the time.
Yeah. The strip was like basically the place. Of course, later on, different clubs around the area. I think it's called the Mint. The one you're talking about, the Mint.
Yes.
Yeah, that's another place that opened up later on. Yeah.
Did you hang out? What's the place next to Dan Tanner's?
Oh, the Troubadour.
The Troubadour. Yeah. Was that a hangout for you?
That was definitely a hangout. By the time that I started playing there, Quiet Riot played there without me. But yeah, that was almost more folky, like the Eagles, a little bit softer rock. Elton John, performed there. It wasn't kind of like a guitar-driven, heavier sound like the Whiskey or the Roxy was. Yeah.
But that's fucking crazy. No, the Dolomite thing I picked up from him, he said a line in there that he sold the line so brilliantly. And to say that line, you've had to be in there some part of your life. When he's having dinner with the guys after the thing, and he goes, I'm thinking of listening to the hobo and blah, 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 blah. And they said something to him, and he just paid his money. He goes, fuck you motherfuckers. I don't need to talk to you people. And he walked out to his car. And I think Michael Epps came out there, and he goes, bro, be cool. And he goes, nah, you don't know what it feels like to have something that nobody wants. And that's a point of every artist's career. There's a point at the 6 year. For me, it was the 5, 6, 7 year mark. That, I'm doing comedy with these guys. I'm in the same circle. People are talking to them, but they're not talking to me. And at one point, you actually go home and go, obviously, they're not buying what I'm selling. Do I keep doing what I'm doing? Do I quit? Do I change my act? Do I put a suit on and make rocket ships fly out of my asshole? Like, what do you do? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I like that part that they showed the character putting it together. Yeah. I'm going to make a comedy album. Yeah. And it's funny because my whole comedy, and I told, especially since I've been working with Lee, I don't ever want anything perfect. I came from the 70s where I grew up on comedy albums. Whether it was Pryor or Cosby or Carlin or whatever, and it was a different feeling. It was 6 of us would chip in and get $25 worth of weed, and we'd get a 6-pack of beer, and we'd come to Rudy's lit garage because Rudy's parents would work till 6 during the week. So we would go over there at 4 o'clock, we'd all sit in a circle and put this comedy album on and giggle. It was a thing people did. It wasn't surprising for somebody to call you in the 70s and go, Lee, what are you doing Saturday night? Bring over onion dip. I'm having 20 people over. We're going to listen to the Bicentennial Nigga. And you would all sit there. There wasn't Netflix. There was no comedy special. There was no comedy special. You came in with that album fresh. You opened it up. You took it out. Everybody's like, yeah, it's Richard Pryor, Bicentennial Nigga. And you put that thing on, and nobody said a fucking word. All you did was laugh. Nobody said a word. And that was big in the 70s. That's why I went, when it came to doing the podcast, I really enjoyed it because it made people listen again. When I used to be in those rooms, nobody said shit. You can't do shit today without somebody saying something or messing something up. In the 70s, nobody said shit. You put that album on, nobody had the heart to say, did you watch the Knicks game last night? Nobody. You shut your mouth and you hung on and you listened. And not everything was perfect. The recordings weren't perfect. Even when you listen to Judas Priest, Unleashed in the East, those recordings weren't perfect. And how many fucking bootleg albums did they sell? How many bootleg albums did I listen to that were made at the Garden? Some guy would walk in with a cassette in his jacket sawing. There was no microphone. All these people, we have to put live mics and all this shit. What are you talking about? I've seen them do it with nothing. What are you talking about?
The first album I ever signed was a guy that Randy Rhoads and I run into. This is 1981. We were at the Atlantic City Boardwalk, and the guy had just bought the first Ozzy radio broadcast live. We're playing live, and it became a bootleg. It was called Bat Head Soup, and the guy gives it to us and says, "Oh man, can you sign this?" And, it was a bootleg, but we were proud that somebody cared to buy this thing of us playing in it. That was that. I'll never forget that moment. And you kind of like know that, okay, I'm we're on the right path here doing this. One of the things that I wanted to mention about, you were talking about records back in the day. When you were a kid, okay, when I was a kid in New Jersey, this is like in, mid 60s, you're always looking for inspiration. And there's so many Spiegel catalog pages that you can look through, the underwear section, whatever, when you were a kid, And so I was always checking out when my mom and dad would go to work and I would stay at home, come home from school, I would go through my dad's stash just to see what he's got. And I came across these collection of records that he had. There was a central character, Juana La Loca. And, she, what do you call that? A woman that always have to have sex? A
slut?
Pyromaniac.
Not
pyromaniac.
Yeah, one of those, right? So that was her condition. Wherever she went on these records, there was a series of records. Let's say she went to buy a bed at a furniture store. where she winds up having sex.
I remember something.
Juana La Loca.
I remember something like this.
So,
I remember Alvaro Ojeda.
That's a comedian. Yeah. And he would do impersonations.
I would listen to him in Spanish, and my mind would blow up.
But this is something that my dad would not play when we were around. That was his stash, And so that was a really good source. Another source was actually he had a collection of Betty Page movies. And I'm talking about actually having me when they're out of the house. I know I got like maybe a half hour window to do this. Set up the projector screen, that is folding. Set up the projector, put on the reel, and watch it, and then put it back everything exactly the way it was. So it's as a matter of fact, and now if I hear a projector sound going like that. I got a boner.
Flashbacks of Vietnam,
I got a Woody.
I still remember ordering those movies. Like I still remember you had to order them from a magazine.
Oh yeah.
And wait 6 to 8 weeks for delivery. And the kid, when I was just at the Stress Factory, kid Michael Special, he was the oldest one of our crew. He had me by a year. He's 57. If I'm 56, he's 57. And we were talking about that when he came in the green room. We go, remember when we ordered the pornos and we waited and we put the fucking screen up in my attic and we had to cover the windows. And you put a blanket on the wall and they weren't like porno from today. It was like just basement, disgusting, mind altering. What's that big thing everybody's got today? TCSD?
PTSD?
Bro, you automatically got PTSD from fucking listening to these things. Like from watching them, it wasn't like you looked at women differently. It was a complete different. It wasn't like robust women with big tits. They were just like skanks from the street that had been beaten. Somebody had lit them on fire, and then they would pay them like small $50 to have sex with them. And as a 13-year-old or 12-year-old, when you wait 6 weeks to actually see pornography, and it is just a fucking animal show, because that's exactly what it was. It was just a fucking animal show. It really was. It was the worst thing I had ever seen. I still have memories of the chick laying there. She's like nodding on heroin, and all of a sudden you see a guy walk into the screen with his dick, and she's like on the drugs looking at his dick, and you could hear the director going, suck it, suck it. Like you could hear the director, and we're like sitting there going, what? Suck it. We didn't even know about a blowjob. We were so young. We knew something happened. Like I had heard about blowjobs. I tried to get the fucking my babysitter to suck my dick when I was 6 for $20, but I had never seen like this. And she just kept looking at the guy's dick weird, and then she smelt it a little bit.
Oh my god!
And all of us like, ew. And then she put it in her mouth, and it was bad dick. She kept making weird faces or something. And then she wouldn't get up. Like she was like handicapped or something like that. She got hit by a car. He tried to.
Just imagine her crawling on the ground.
I'm telling you, this is beyond Me Too. This was beyond Me Too. Those directors should have got thrown under the jail. Like when you see porn, he go to pick her up to swap spit with them.
Yeah.
After they make out, he tried to pick her up. She's like, I'm not going anywhere. Like she had no legs. Something was.
Oh my
right.
god!
And then they gave her 2 pieces of bread. I will never forget this. That 1 minute she was sitting there looking at the dick, and it was just a cold edit. Like then, don't even worry about the flow. Like next thing you know, she was sitting with her hand like this. And the next thing, she had 2 pieces of ripe bread in her hand and a jar of Miracle Whip with a knife in it. And we're like, what's she going to do? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe she's taking a break. Maybe she's hungry. She took the Miracle Whip, put it on the bread, and then put it on his dick, and put 2 pieces of bread on his dick and started eating the white bread off his dick. And we were in shock. Like all of us stood there like with our jaws dropped. And there was a young kid. And I wrote a joke about this, but this is not a joke. This is a true story. There was a young kid that started crying. Like he was like, if I was 13, he was 11 or 10. And all of a sudden, he was like, ooh, he started crying. His name was Sabatino. That's how much it fucked us up. Everybody wanted their money back. People were pissed off at me because it was like $20. And you got 3 Super 8 films, the Super 8, and the projector. You had to build the projector. You had to, like, what's that beep?
The truck
Outside. That fucking car was there for a year. Finally fucking, you had to, like, put the wing onto the projector, screw it on.
Yeah.
But it came in a little box, very discreet.
Yeah.
And you opened it up and you were fucking, porno was
They had
complete.
crimes in there. That sounds terrible.
That's what?
They had crimes in there.
It was a crime. If you get those pornos today, you could sue the fucking, you could sue the company for PTSD. I wish I still had that porno. I would take it to a psychiatrist and say, watch this. How does this make you feel when you're fucking 13? It'll ruin you. I want to, I did your radio show, and I went up and did the podcast today. I got car sick going up your hill. Fucking 19 fucking left turns I got to make. I was car sick. I had to sit on a bench in front of his house. And you've always said that, you were very happy when you did the podcast that I gave you the inspiration. Well, you inspired me to do something. I'm really thankful. I started going out. I went to 2 concerts in 3 months. And I'm going to another one in November. And I'm going to another one in December. I went to see Guns N' Roses at the Palladium.
Wow. I saw your post. Yeah.
And I went to see Pat Benatar at the Saban Theater.
Yeah.
Which is fucking great, that little theater.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
And it was just what you said. I didn't spring the 900 for the Stones, and I'm happy I didn't. I didn't hear a lot of good reviews.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of friends that are honest.
Yeah.
They're not regular white people that pay 900. And then who pays 900 is going to tell you the concert sucked? Nobody. They're going to tell you it was phenomenal. Go spend the 900 so you feel as shitty as I do.
Yeah.
But my brother went. He's been to see the Stones 21 times, and he said it wasn't no bueno at the Meadowlands. He didn't enjoy it at all. And that I would have felt bad about. I don't like seeing people like that either. But Guns N' Roses was a fucking experience, Rudy.
Yeah.
It was really an experience. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Ozzy at the Palladium in New York.
Wow.
It had that same dirty, nitty, feeling to it. That's what, Guns N' Roses has that. Where the Palladium in New York naturally had that. Like when Guns N' Roses walks in the room, that feeling comes over you, but the Palladium in New York had that grungy, rock and roll, dirty, you might get syphilis if you touch the floor with your finger and finger somebody feel to it. I had a lot of good times in that fucking Palladium.
That was
But
definitely...
thank you very much.
Sure.
To be an entertainer, you have to be entertained from time to time.
Interesting.
To
Yes.
entertain.
Yes.
When you get bored, and I didn't know this as a comedian until I was already in the game 10 years, 11 years. But that's why they say it's important, like to watch a movie once a week for 2 hours, to take your mind out of the game and get entertained. I've found, me as a comic, I learn a lot from watching singers. A singer and a comic is the same thing. We're just a conduit for the message. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think you guys have tougher jobs
Than the singers?
than you say. Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't fucking trade my job for a singer, not in a million years. There's too many things that could go wrong.
You guys don't have the drum solo. You guys don't have like the guitar player going off on a tandem, extending his guitar solo, and you going like this. You don't have, for example, like if your voice is a little bit rough, you give the crowd the mic to sing. You don't give the crowd the mic to finish off your joke. You can't do that. You stand there basically the way that we musicians, we look at it. You're standing there, you're naked with your dick in your hand, and that's all you got. That's it. Nothing in between. Nothing to shield you. Nothing to protect you. Like the other guys in the band, like, oh, I feel a little bit rough today, so I'm gonna like take it. Not that I ever do that, but I've seen singers. It's tough being a singer.
I think it's extremely tough.
If I have a cold, if my stomach doesn't feel good, I just go there and play because I'm using my hands, and I move around. And if I really, once I get past the point of like I'm on stage now, I forget about how shitty I feel off stage. If I have a cold or whatever, I just go there and play. then I'll probably feel like shit again once I get off the stage. But you got nothing. You just gotta go there and do it and be 1,000%. Because to that audience that showed up, that's the moment. They don't care how you got there. They don't care how you feel. You're gonna deliver. And you're gonna deliver as good or better than the last time they saw you. And if they never seen you before, you gotta live up to the hype. And beyond that.
It's crazy.
It is.
I see singers and I'm like, wow. I learned different things from different singers from watching them, including Axl. Axl I didn't learn a lot from, but, you know, I love watching when B.B. King sings.
Yeah.
You know he's there.
Yeah.
He's right there. He's there.
I know, but so are you when you're on stage.
No.
You know?
That's a 50-50 chance that strengthens the longer you do stage. The longer that you are in the game, you put yourself there from time to time. Now when I go up there, it's like Anthony Robbins says, you touch your shoulder and it's a reaction.
Yeah.
It'll give your mind a reaction on how to perform.
Yeah.
You know, with that deep hypnotism, isn't it like you touch your wrist?
Yeah.
And it means go time. For me as a comic, I think that it took a long time, but now I'm at like 70%, where I could really depend on my confidence.
I got a question for you. We musicians, we call it, we play. That's what we call making music, performing. We play. What do you guys call it?
Doing comedy.
You're doing comedy. See, it's different. See, we play. We don't take it. Well, I mean, we take it seriously because you know I spend hours playing, but I play. I spend hours playing because I love to play. That's another thing. You don't spend at home. You don't sit on the sofa, you know, throwing lines out, you know, or telling jokes or things like that. No, I sit on the sofa watching TV. I got my little dog in between me and my wife. I got a little amplifier that's not louder than the TV speakers, and I'm playing all night long. And I got ideas coming through my head, and I play them. Meanwhile, I'm watching TV. You know what I mean? It's a constant with me. I'm always playing. Unless I'm on a plane, then I can't play. But then I take out, you know, my iPad and I look at, I start reading music, you know, sheet music or other tutorials, you know, things like that. So I'm always in it.
Well, no, I'm always in it.
You're right.
I know you are.
I'm always in it because as long as my eyes are open, I'm writing.
Yeah, I know you are.
I'm taking in data. I'm taking in data. My eyes are always taking in data as a comic. I might not be playing, but I'm taking in data and the moves are happening.
Yeah.
And now, because I'm more disciplined than ever and everything, now I know to write that thought down. Write it down. You're not going to remember it later. Write it down. I'm getting more success with that. Write it down. Take the 2 minutes, write it down.
Yeah.
If it even means writing the joke out, because it's not going to come to you again. You know, I go to Novathor once a week.
Yeah.
Novathor is red light therapy. You lay there. You know how many times I go in there baked out of my mind and I think of fucking a whole bit?
Yeah.
Now I just take a notebook with me. I take a little pad with me when I go to Novathor, and I'll loosen the goggles. I'll get the red light beams in my eyeballs, and I'll write the fucking thing, and I won't be able to see for an hour after I leave there. I don't give a fuck. You know, your eyeballs are, when you're a comedian, should always be working. That's why you need to get out of the house. That's why you need to do certain things, because you're collecting data. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where you're going. A friend of yours tells you this diner is good, go there.
Yeah.
Sit at the bar, watch. I'm always watching. I was raised to watch because my mother had the numbers operation. So my eyes had to be better than everybody else. I had to make sure that car, why is that car there? Why is that white car parked there? That's where Rudy parks every day. I was raised to walk home a different route. So some days I'll walk up to Hunger, some days I'll walk up Colfax, some days I'll walk up Laurel Canyon, just to see what's going on in that fucking neighborhood. So when you're a comedian, your eyes are always collecting data. That's where your comedy comes from. Comedy is how your world collides with the rest of the world. Why are you not taking in data? Whether it's a concert, whether it's a fucking museum, maybe it's a walk down the block, maybe it's a walk in Hollywood to see a bum and a funny story. You take a walk in Hollywood, you're always going to come up with a funny story. You park your car by Amoeba, go to Amoeba, and then take a walk around that neighborhood, right in that neighborhood. Go to fucking the hamburger place and get a hamburger like a normal person instead of going to the black joint and getting chicken, taking orders. You go right up the corner there. They got all the food on that block you want. Just walk on that block and see what that block is about. You'll get a fucking minute or two of material. So we're always working.
Yeah.
Beside musicians. What I meant to say from singers is like Robert Plant in The Song Remains the Same. His whole body becomes a weapon in that movie. If you watch his whole body, his whole body is giving you material. That's very rare.
Yeah, I know that.
That's very rare. Not too many fucking singers have that. Some singers could connect with the audience. Some singers could take you there. And some motherfucking singers are there.
But
they're there.
But you're going into something really interesting. And another major difference from what we do as musicians than what you do. Take Robert Plant outside of Led Zeppelin. It's not the same. Led Zeppelin, it's like, for example, when I play with certain bands, when I play with Ozzy, I felt like an animal on stage. When I play with Quiet Riot, it was more joyful. It was funnier. It's a whole different emotion that I get. When I play with Whitesnake, I was fucking licking the bass all over the place because I felt it. There was a sexual undertone to it, Then I played with Dio and it was more like that super heavy metal, with Dio, he would hit certain notes, Ronnie, that I was standing next to him and I would just levitate on stage. It was like, holy shit. It was like, we did the song Gates of Babylon and he would hit this certain note and it was like, whoa, I was actually really off the ground, So it's very different. What I'm trying to say is that you're only as good as the band that you're in. In your case, in your case is you have no choice but to be good no matter where you go because you're not in a band. You're the ultimate solo artist and you got to maintain that level. You're not going from Led Zeppelin to Deep Purple to like all of a sudden you're going solo and you're doing other material and things like that. Your level of intensity it's at top level no matter what you do because you're you. You're not the singer in one band that's going with another band that then it's a whole different trip, another different vibe, a different energy, different music. It's about something else. You know what I mean? So with you, it's tougher, much tougher because you don't have that role to play. Even though we're live, we're really characters in a play and the play happens to be that band.
I was talking with someone yesterday, and I'd be interested to see what you guys think. Because like when you start playing music, I imagine that you're focused on playing it right at the beginning. And where I am in comedy, I'm focused on telling the jokes the way I want to tell them. And I see a lot of comedians like Joey and other guys. They are really great performers. Like they can really. There's another level when you have the basics down and you can actually get animated or lick the bass. Like how long does it take for you to like perform?
I'll tell you exactly, and that's a really great topic because this is another thing that it's different from musicians and on what Joey does with the stand up. It's the fact that when we will go on tour, we make a record. And you're making a record and there's like you're getting opinions from not only your bandmates, you're getting opinion from yourself. You start thinking about, okay, what am I going to play in this song? In the studio, you got pre-production. You go in the studio, you start working with a producer and they say, well, change it a little bit because it's not suitable with everything else that's going on. So it goes through filters and filters. And it's not until you are on stage, after the record's been released, you've been 2 weeks on the road, you look at the audience, you look at the guys in the band, that song, that new song, really, you understand the meaning of that song. You go, oh, now I know what the song is about. So now you're really playing the song. Case in point, how many live albums have you heard that you think, wow, this shit sounds way better than it did in the studio? You know, it's because now the band gets it. The band, oh, this is what the song is. You know, not in the studio when you basically, the studio is like a laboratory. So you're under the microscope. Every single note is being questioned by the producer, by the artist relations guy, that it's the executive producer of the record, and the singer and the guitar player and the drummer. Everybody's looking at what you're playing. You're looking at what everybody else is playing. We're analyzing everything. When you're on stage for a couple of weeks touring that song, you're not analyzing. You become that song, and along with the audience, because you got the audience. See, to me, the audience have always been like a dashboard in a car. You're looking at the tachometer. If you're going, you know, should you go to the next shift to the next speed? You know, go from like second gear to third gear, or bring it back a little bit in the middle of the set, because you don't want to blow up the engine. You don't want to go full tilt all the way, because that's just going to explode. You know, so you go like shifting gears through the whole set. I'm sure you do that live. You look at the audience and you get into feedback, and you know what to hit them with next. Yeah.
I could have a set list. 1 out of 10, I'm going to stick to that set list. I still do all the jokes in that set list, but when I get on stage, everything comes to life. It doesn't call for that set list. Something happened before me that has to make me adjust that set list. So I have to call what the quarterbacks call an audible.
That's beautiful.
And the joke comes to life.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really enjoy sitting down and writing the core of a joke. But after 20 years, I realized that the tags are going to be written on stage whether I like them or not. I'm funnier when I'm under pressure. When I'm under pressure, especially on the workout nights, like tonight, last night at the store, I go down there with no pressure. It's not about me. It's about me trying everything in that arsenal that I wrote from Sunday to last night. I must have made 4 or 5 little notes, little adjustments. So I get it now. Like, I'm not sitting there anymore waiting to write a 20-minute bit on paper. It's not going to happen. Sorry. And it's so weird, because the first live album I ever bought was Get Your Yayas Out. And I listened to it and I gave it away the next day. I thought it was garbage because I didn't like how the Stones, every song sounded different. Mm-hmm. I didn't like that. I wanted it to sound the same. Mm-hmm. Then I put on Unleashed in the East. I had already bought the first Judas Priest album, and I had another album by Judas Priest, Stained Class, I think. I don't know what I had at that time. I'm lying to you guys. I knew who Judas Priest was. I didn't have any of their albums. I had heard one of the albums at my friend's house one night. When I heard their live Unleashed in the East, I didn't like it at first. Again, we're going away from the plan. But then I was like, wait a second. This sounds better. Diamonds and Rust by Joan Baez sounds a lot better live than it does in the fucking studio.
Yeah.
You know, Victim of Changes sounds a lot better. And then I started getting into more live recordings. I was buying more bootlegs, and I was understanding what was happening. Till you said that, it didn't really clarify at all. I never knew I had that knowledge that it becomes one when you're out there.
Yeah.
Like when I went to see you at the Palladium with Ozzy, you guys did this is a song coming off the new album, which is Flying High Again.
Yeah.
You think you did Flying High Again on that set. There was no Diary of a Madman.
No,
there was Flying High Again.
Yeah.
That was
and Believer, those are the 2 songs we did from Diary.
Boom. Yeah, but it's so weird. I never really thought about it that way.
Yeah.
Me, myself, like I've had Joe Coy on here, and Joe Coy does not leave his house during the week. Mm-hmm. He does all his writing on the road. Mm-hmm. He makes people pay $25, $35, $45 to see him write. It's brilliant. I don't like it, but then again, why not? The audience loves it.
Yeah.
plenty of times I come home from the Comedy Store and I run in that room just to write 3 words down.
Yeah.
3 words. Not a sentence, not a joke, not a bit. 3 words. Some word that I have to change somewhere. And there should be 6, but I only remember 3. So I'll take the 3 for right now. I'll remember the other 3 when I go back to the store on Tuesday or on Thursday night, you know.
I'll give you another one about the difference of why it's tougher for you than it is for us musicians. Robert Plant, let's say you go and watch him solo, somehow he's going to do a version of Whole Lotta Love because otherwise you feel like you're being ripped off, right?
He did. You're right.
Yeah.
I saw him in December of 1980.
When was the last time you did that people came to see you because they're expecting to hear a certain joke, a certain line that you delivered 20 years ago, 10 years ago? You got to come up with new material all the time. We don't. As a matter of fact, people don't even want to hear new material. That's why a lot of bands don't even make new records. We don't. They want to hear the hits. So imagine if you get up on stage every night and you say the same jokes, your biggest jokes. And that's why people are lining up for you.
I mean, we all have our greatest hits. If you go to each one of your specials or your albums, you're going to have one memorable bit. If it's really old, I won't throw it up. But you never know. You know where you're going to go. There's bits that aren't on CDs that are old. That I never put on a CD or nothing. They're just sitting there waiting to get morphed into another joke.
Exactly.
Morphed.
Morph.
Now I have a minute and a half. This will add 2.5 more minutes to that joke. That bit's been sitting in the wings for fucking 8 years.
Yeah.
Just waiting to do something to smack a motherfucker.
Yeah.
So no, that whole process I love now. And I guarantee while you guys are on stage, I'll tell you who's a band that I liked because of their live performances. And because everything sounded different. You wouldn't expect it from me. But I lived in Boulder and I listened to them a lot. Involuntarily. You have to listen to the Dead.
Oh, the Dead, yeah.
If you live in Boulder, everybody's playing the Dead. Next door, downstairs, and everybody don't play the album. They play the bootlegs. From the Oakland shows, from the Oklahoma shows.
Yeah.
So you get to listen to like 3 nights at the Oklahoma Superdome. I don't know if this is what it's called. I'm just making up a name here. So you get to see how they switch every night, how they grow every night, how they manipulate every night. Maybe tonight we're going to do this. Maybe tonight Jerry Garcia plays this note. Maybe tonight Jerry Garcia does a long solo. Depends how much heroin he did and if he had a piece of chocolate candy. Whatever the fuck. That's when I really admired that. I know one thing. I went to see comedy. I always tell this because I'm misinformed sometimes. I went to see comedy 1 time before I got on stage. 2 times before I got on stage. And those 2 times, I was not thinking about doing comedy. I just went to accompany a friend of mine. And they were both the same comedian because he was a big fan of his. And this is way before I got into comedy. The first time I saw him was like October. Let's just make up a date. Maybe October. No, let's say maybe January of 87. And then the next time I saw him was June of 88. And I'll never forget that he didn't write a new joke at all. He did the same routine he had done the 14 months prior to that. And I'll never forget, as a fucking cokehead, lost cokehead, not even a comedian. Comedy wasn't even on my radar. I remember walking out and going, that's interesting that he said the same material he did a year ago. If that was me, I would never do that. This is way before comedy. Way before comedy. I paid $200 to go see Led Zeppelin. I better hear a Whole Lotta Love. I want to hear, I have a set list of songs I want to hear. But I know I spoke to a Mexican friend of mine, and he said he went to see Santana. And he goes, I should have taken the $200 and ripped it in half. Because all he does is introduce new music and talks about his political, what his aspirations are, whatever. And then people were yelling, "Oye, como va?" And he's like, "Oh, no, I'm going to do this acoustic. Get the fuck out of here. We want to hear fucking Soul Black Magic Woman, Soul Survivor." That's what they came to hear.
Yeah.
So he didn't do well. Like people just didn't. The reviews were bad. I could see that. Me, as a when I went to see the weird thing about Guns N' Roses was that Monday on Trunk Nation, a guy called in, a very intelligent guy. Usually you ever hear Trunk Nation?
Oh,
People that call in.
I know Eddie. Yeah.
The people that call into Trunk Nation are not the right. Hey, man, how you doing? Yeah. Let me ask you something. What did happen to the band, the Spiders? They were a small band. You're like, the Spiders, guy, live it up. Go hang yourself. You know what I'm saying? The guys just call, like, what happened to... And they try to be swarmy.
Yeah.
Like, man, listen, man, my favorite dude was Rudy Sarzo, and I went to see him recently, and like they just try to be swarmy, and Eddie fucks them up. Eddie fucks them up good. But a guy called, and it was very intelligent. He goes, I don't know these people that are paying all this money to see Guns N' Roses do music that was put out in 1988 through whatever. And my daughter and my wife went into Bully Buster, and I sat outside listening to the argument about, and I'm like, maybe, maybe not. I don't know how I feel about this argument, but I thought about that too. If I'm paying $400 for a ticket, I want to hear something new, especially if it's Guns N' Roses. It's got to be good. That 2 days later, I got the call if I want to go see Guns N' Roses. That Monday, like that Wednesday, they called and they go, we got 2 tickets for you to go see Guns N' Roses at the Palladium Saturday if you want to go. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm going to go. Now I'm here. And let me tell you something. When they played the beginning of It Could Be Mine, You Could Be Mine, the place almost blew up. November Rain, the place almost, that's what you wanted to hear. Like, as I was there, I'm like, they better play November Rain. They better play this song here.
Yeah, but I can tell you this, as a fan and as a professional musician, songs are just triggers. Your mind triggers. Like, so somebody, so let's say, especially playing in Los Angeles, they're an LA band. So when they hear, You Could Be Mine, people most of the audience actually saw them playing at the Whiskey or saw them back in '88. They were part of the whole Sunset Strip. So you just basically triggering this emotion of like, fuck yeah, man, like 30 years before, right? And all of a sudden they are 19 again. They're riding their Harleys. They got their motorcycle jackets on, and there's not a care in the world. So they're just losing their shit because they're being transported to that place in time. I know that because it happens to me as a fan. I've been a fan longer than I've been a professional musician. So I got a whole catalog of music that just fucks me up every time I hear it.
Me too. You're right.
And some of them I'm actually playing. I grew up. I was a kid when I was listening to the Guess Who songs, like These Eyes used to be like this.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. Dun 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 dun.
Dun dun.
And that song was like the favorite song of this. When you're a kid, you have a girlfriend and you have like your song, your favorite song. And that was like a crazy girlfriend that I had. That was her favorite song. So here I am on stage with the band playing that song, and all I can do is just laugh. I'm laughing. I'm smiling. Yeah, I'm happy because I'm playing that song, but I'm also laughing at the irony of the whole thing, that I'm actually in the band playing the song that was not only our song, it was also a breakup song.
What's a breakup song?
Well, it's a song that happened to be playing on the radio when the chick breaks up with you. that was your last memory of the song. And saying, thank you for breaking up with me, because otherwise I would probably have been married to you, have like 20 grandchildren by now, and be in Miami playing in playing congas in a Santana band or Miami Sound Machine tribute band.
Crazy. Let me ask you something, man. I did not know till Wendy was here the other day.
Yeah.
That you were in Ronnie's last band, What was the name of it?
Ronnie?
Yeah.
I was his last bass player in Dio.
I didn't know that.
I was in the band from 2004 until he passed away.
In 2010?
Yeah, 2010, yeah.
And you were touring with him the whole thing? Why didn't I know
I love
that?
Ronnie. I love Ronnie. Because you never asked me about Ronnie.
That was crazy. I knew you had done something with Ronnie.
Oh God, yeah.
She mentioned it to me, and over the weekend I went and looked it up, and I was like, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. We did the record together. The what is it, 28th year or 25th year anniversary of Holy Diver. We did the whole record, and there's a DVD of that. If I find one at home, I think I have an extra copy. I'll bring it to you.
83 Holy Diver, tremendous.
Holy Diver, yeah.
Vivian
So
Campbell, the whole thing.
yeah. It was the 25th year anniversary of Holy Diver. Yeah.
Who was the drummer on that album?
On the record was Vinny Appice, who had played with him in Black Sabbath.
Right.
And then when Vinny left the band, Simon Wright from AC/DC took over. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, Simon was the second drummer in AC/DC. He was like 16, 17 years old when he joined the band. Yeah.
Fucking tremendous. Rudy.
Yeah, tremendous.
So, Rudy, this thing Thursday. Tomorrow.
Yes. Thursday is the Stand Up and Shout bowling event over at Pins in Sherman Oaks. Studio City.
Right behind Jerry's Deli.
Jerry's Deli. A bunch of people are going to be there.
The guy from the Foo Fighters. Yeah. Eddie Trunk is rapping off a fucking thing.
Yeah, I mean...
And I'm in Detroit, and it's already sold out, and I had to cancel it once.
Yeah.
So it's not like I could cancel it again. Trust me. I would love to be able to go to this.
Well, there's other events that happen through the year.
Right. She's invited me to 2020, February 20th.
Yeah, they have the motorcycle rally and all of that. Yeah.
Which I show up with a 10-speed.
Yeah.
And I hope it's all downhill. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't riding no fucking motorcycle at my age. And stuff like that.
They're making some major strides as far as cancer goes. You know, there's a lot of hope there. Frankie Benelli, are my I mean, he's not only my Quiet Riot drum, rhythm section partner, but I grew up playing with Frankie back in Florida in 72. So 11 years before we were playing together in Quiet Riot. I mean, I was playing with him, So he was the best man at my wedding. So, we're brothers, and recently he came out, made an announcement that he had stage 4 pancreatic cancer. But I got to tell you, I knew about it months before that, and every day we were texting, and what a fighter, constantly having chemotherapy and other alternative medication, and he's back playing again. And which is what he was born to do, and it's amazing because this gives hope to a lot of people, because usually stage 4 pancreatic cancer, you're done. No, he's not done. He's not done. He's as a matter of fact, I can say that once he goes through the whole thing completely, he'll be stronger and better than ever. Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
No, I donated. I told her I would donate a little something.
I donated a little something too. Yeah.
Donate a little something because she's doing a good cause. It's not like she's running a scam or nothing.
Absolutely. So, there's this brings up a lot of hope to people. Don't give up. Don't give up, because, the longer you stay in the game, the better medication is going to be discovered, better treatments and things like that. So it could be that in very short period, maybe in a couple of years, cancer will be eradicated.
They don't want that.
Yeah.
But we're working hard.
Yeah.
And nobody wants it. That's a multi-billion-dollar a year business.
But look at the cure.
The cure is evident. So that's what's
exactly.
good about that.
Exactly. So,
where are you playing soon? I know you're doing the camp.
Doing Rock and Fantasy Camp next week. We got Cheap Trick coming in, and we're recreating Sgt. Pepper, Life at the Whiskey, a go-go.
What date?
November 17th, the day before my birthday.
November 18th is your birthday?
I'll be 69.
That's the day I kidnapped Kent Vella. The kidnap. Now I remember your birthday every fucking year.
I'll be 69, and you're only 69 once.
That's it. But you could do it forever. That's the only age you once, but you could do it forever. You know what I'm saying? And you can start young. You can start at 4. 69.
4?
Fuck yeah. You did 69 when you were 4?
No.
You didn't do that in your daycare? You went to a bum daycare. You know what I'm saying? Start sniffing little asshole when you're 4 and shit. It's not even pedophilia. It's just 69. It's It's not a bad time. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, this weekend, Detroit is sold out. Omaha, the tickets are gone. Me and Dean Delray. And I got a call yesterday. Miami sold out. So all I got left for you motherfuckers is December 6th, the second show at the New York Town Hall. 10:30 show. $35 tickets. No fucking drama. Listen, one thing I noticed about this week is last night I was watching a Giant game. It was midnight. The stadium was packed. Fucking New York is a late town, man. L.A., they die like pussies here at 8:30. In New York, you got to kill them at 3. 3 is like the other night, they're in the UFC. 1 in the morning, they were all still there. That fight was 1 in the fucking morning. Here, try to do an event center at 1 in the morning over here at Staples Center. Those people fucking melt. The building will melt if they go into triple overtime, the Lakers or something like that. But that's all I got for you motherfuckers. Rudy, what's going on with the podcast and the show?
I got the shows every Sunday on Monsters of Rock Radio. We got to get you on one of those cruises.
No.
Monsters of Rock cruise.
No.
Come on, it's bands and rock and roll and
No, and goofy fucking people. I'll jump off. I'll abandon ship. Goofy people following you around, asking you creepy questions in the daytime. You know. Did you use the Stratocaster or did you use it? Listen, leave me alone. Go get some buffet, all right?
Yeah.
Go get a fucking piece of cake. Your wife's over there dying from diabetes. Go kill her once and for all. You gotta bother me with this fucking cruise. I don't lay ships, bro.
I haven't done the Monsters of Rock cruise yet because with the Guess Who we do the Flower Pop, which is 60 years old. I mean, in 60s cruise. People that were around in the 60s, and then the next one is the Rock and Romance, which is the 70s cruise. And I got to tell you, it's really a trip.
I
it really
can just
is.
Imagine.
It really is.
I just don't want to be on a boat with nobody for that long. How many days is it? 2 hours.
No, actually, it's not too bad because what they do is they split the cruise with 2 shifts of bands. So if 30 bands are playing in the whole cruise, the first 15 will board, let's say, in Fort Lauderdale and then get off in Jamaica. Then the next 15 board in Jamaica, the flight to Jamaica, and then disembark in Fort Lauderdale. So not all 30 bands are on board the ship at all times. So you only you're there like maybe 3 or 4 days, tops.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
That's 3 more days I want to be anywhere. You understand me? Especially walking around in circles with a ship. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Eddie Trunk. And why I'm a big fan of Eddie Trunk is because he tolerates a lot. I'd hang up on half those people. Can you imagine? One day they're going to take him off the ship in a white suit on. With one of those jackets going, I haven't seen Ronnie Montrose. I haven't, because they just drive him crazy. I can't imagine those people on a tour. Just when you're eating breakfast. Hey, I don't want to bother you, but man, what was the name of the guitar player in Richie Blackmore's second band? I'm gonna Trump. What are they? Remember that?
Stump.
Oh yeah,
Stump
Trump. Yeah.
Listen, you stump me again, I'll stab you with this fucking knife.
Yeah.
With egg batter and fucking maple syrup on it.
Do you follow him on Twitter? Because
yes,
it's the same thing on Twitter. Like all these people asking him questions.
Oh, he's my idol.
Yeah,
I wish I had his patience. If I had
he's
Eddie
great.
Trunk's patience,
he's great.
I'd have a good chance of staying out of prison. Because right now I can't take it no more. One of these motherfuckers is eventually gonna get stabbed.
It's probably going to be me.
No, you're all right. You're beyond the stab point. I gotta throw you off the ship.
Oh, yeah,
Take
you're not
one
going
of
on a
those
ship
gay
with you.
guys. I gotta take you out to El Camino Island. What's the island out here in California? Yeah, we're gonna have a good time. I got Sundays for you. Don't worry about none. They got a big banana fucking float waiting for you.
Catalina.
And I'll throw you right over. I'll stab you with a needle so the shark will come real quick and chew you away.
Oh, yeah. Sounds great.
Don't worry about nothing. I'll get an insurance policy. I'll cut your mom in for the small 20. Just so, nobody's
How much
feelings
are you getting?
I got to get the 80%. I'm the one that's doing all the heavy work here. I'm doing all the lifting. You know what I'm saying?
Well, thank you for that.
I love you motherfuckers. Rudy Sarzo, thank you very much. Listen to Rudy on Monsters of Rock Radio. Support him. Follow him on Twitter. He does a great job on Twitter. The Christ Killer, I love you, cocksucker. And the rest of you savages. I'll see you Thursday night in Detroit, ready to blow that motherfucking place up. Listen, I don't have nothing left from my youth. I just got one thing left. Yesterday, I posted my grammar school. Can you please, if you have any report cards or T-shirts from grammar school? I said, listen, go fuck yourself. I never saved a thing from that school, but I have one thing. I have a shirt that a friend of mine gave me in 1987 that says Detroit, the murder capital of the world or some shit. Remember when it was the murder capital of the United States?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to Detroit, and then I'm going to Omaha, Nebraska to get some piece of steak with Dean Delray. So I'll see you motherfuckers then. If not, we'll see you next Tuesday. Tip Top Magoo, ready to stab a motherfucker. I love you guys. Don't forget, Miami Improv sold out. Omaha, all you got left is December 6th at the Town Hall Theater in New York City. Second show, 10:30. There's tickets left for the first show, but do not touch those tickets. They went over $100 for those things. Let them burn in hell for trying to scalp from you guys. You're my family. $35 flat. I love you guys. Have a great week. I want to thank Rudy again. I want to thank the Christ Killer. But most importantly, I want to thank you motherfucking savages for always having my back and having our back. All right? Stay black. Oh, shit. We almost forgot here. I got to let you know who sponsors this motherfucker. For starters, let me talk to you real quick. The church is sponsored by Tushy. You're like, Joey, what's Tushy? It's an amazing, unconventional gift for anybody in your life. Everybody has an asshole, and everybody deserves the gift of Tushy. Wiping your fucking muffler with dried toilet paper does not remove all the shit. If you got poop, one of the other listen, a couple of weeks ago I threw my shoulder out, and I couldn't wipe my hand with my right hand. I had to switch to my left hand. This is not good. This is where Hello Tushy comes in, and I'll never forget them for helping me out. And someday you guys will get old, and you can't wipe your ass with your white hand. What are you going to do? Tushy's going to be there. Why? Because it sprays nice, warm, cool water directly into your asshole, and it removes the poop and all the other germs that you got that can cause the hemorrhoids, yeast infection, itchy asshole, skid marks, and people not wanting to suck your dick. You ever have a girl ready to suck your dick, but she gets a whiff from the fucking south? It's your asshole. It's on fire. All right? Bidets are common all over the world. A bidet saves you money on toilet paper, and you won't kill that many trees. You won't clog your toilet. Listen, Tushy sprays your ass with fresh water. It's not toilet water. Tushy connects to the water supply behind your toilet to spray your fucking nutsack and your asshole tip-top Magoo clean with the same water you brush your teeth with. That's not inspiring, but you know what I'm saying. Wet wipes are worse than toilet paper, all right? They cause anal fucking little fissures in your asshole. You don't want that either in the later rounds when, you know, things get rough and you got a little pimple back there, whatever. Listen, Tushy starts at $79. I'm hooking you up here. This is the gift you've been looking for. You're thinking about who am I going to buy something for this year? This is the gift. Nice and easy. It installs in 10 minutes. And guess what? That person's asshole won't stink anymore. You've done something nice. And Lee's had it for what?
3 or 4 years. It's still. I use it every day.
It's still working. His asshole still stinks. But hey, at least he's got
great.
some water in that motherfucker from time to time. Listen, I love Tushy, and I've had him for 4 years, and I'm going to keep using Tushy. The aim is tremendous. You dry off with their little fucking hand, little voodoo towels they got. Look, do me a favor. Just go to HelloTushy.com. Look at all the colors. Look at all the matches. Look at the towels. Look at the stuff they got. They're a great company. They got a 60-day guarantee on it. But listen, me and Lee will tell you, we're both fat fucks. That Tushy's still spraying water in our assholes. Go to HelloTushy.com right now and press in.
Church.
And get 10% off your order delivered right to your motherfucking house. The church is also brought to you by On It. Listen, right now, Alpha Brain. Only company. If you're not happy with the product, they give you 100% money back guarantee. That's how much On It believes in Alpha Brain. They're running a contest. You order a 30 count, 60 count, 90 count of On It Alpha Brain, and there's going to be a raffle ticket. If you fucking win in January, they're going to fly to the On It Center, $2,000 cash, 3 days of one-on-one training, vitamins. It's fucking too real. It's too real to be true. Do me a favor. Go to onit.com right now. Look at the selection they got, but make sure you get Alpha Brain. You're a little fucking confused lately. On the way out of checkout, press in.
Church.
CHURCH. Get 10% off delivered right to your house. And since you're taking care of yourself with On It, I might as well talk to you about Athletic Greens. What's Athletic Greens? It's an awesome supplement that gives you tremendous energy. Listen, if you're not starting your day off with a blast of vitamins, you're wasting your time. Go back to bed. But if you want to feel tip-top Magoo, let Athletic Greens do the dirty work. No more pill bottles, no more trying to choke down a dozen apple. It's all in there. The best part is the powder comes in an easy-to-use travel pack. I love this, guys. When I'm on the road, I throw it in my bag, and I know I'll be protected. You know, you go out there, you smoke dope with people shake your hands, they're filthy fucking animals. With Athletic Greens, it's like a daily insurance policy between me and my body. I drink this, and then I can have a little bit of fun. And you can relax because their ingredients are plant-based. If you're on keto, gluten-free, you can take this. No chemicals, no artificial flavors, no artificial preservatives, no GMOs, no sugar, no sweeteners, no corn, no lactose, no sucrose, no egg, no yeast, no peanuts, no animal products. Athletic Greens got what you're looking for. Guys, you need to take care of yourself, and that's why I recommend these supplements to everybody. Just add a little bit of cold water, shake it up. You can take that banana and shove it up your mother's ass. What the fuck are you waiting for? Right now, the church family gets a special offer, all right? I'm going to give you 20 free travel packs, valued at $79 with your first purchase. Jump over to athleticgreens.com right now. Press in church to get your travel packs today. That's athleticgreen.com/church. Athletic Greens. They're fucking tremendous. I want to thank Athletic Greens. I want to thank Onnit. And most importantly, I want to thank Tushy, but I want to thank you guys again for being a tremendous fucking audience. I'll see you guys next week. Lee, kick this motherfucking mule.